No nonsense gin drinking. All gin, no nonsense.
Hello gin lovers, welcome back. I'm Bobby Freeman. Today, my friends, you can see I'm extraordinarily excited by the way I'm hopping left to right like this behind my desk. Because today, my friends, is the return of one of my favourite gins, the original of which is usually sitting here, but it's currently in the house because me and Narissa have been quaffing it heavily over the last few days. So let me introduce you, my friends, to Mermaid Zest gin. Now, many of you will remember the original Mermaid gin and indeed the pink Mermaid gin. Well, they've come back and they've put a bit of zest in there, which I'm assuming is something, well, citrusy and lemony. So, and as we all know on the show, the addition of citrus and lemon can never be a bad thing to anything indeed in life. And of course, let's pay homage to what is possibly the most beautiful bottle we've ever seen on the show. Look at that, it's extraordinary, excellent. Anyway, bottle is one thing, gin's another thing, so let's stop messing around and crack on. However, just hold the phone and shut the front door for 1 second because I want to tell you once again about this amazing product that I have been sent, okay? It's this one here. I showed some of you about it last week. It's called Z Biotics, okay? Let me just unveil them like that. Whoa, look at this. Looks like something out of a science lab, doesn't it? So what it is essentially a probiotic drink, okay? But it actually, it's a specific probiotic drink. It has one job, okay? And that is to target the byproduct of alcohol that builds up in your gut, which is responsible for making you feel a little bit rough the morning after you've had a few drinks. Which means you can go out on a night out with your friends, have a few drinks. Obviously, don't go overboard and drink responsibly and have a bit of water like you would normally do, but it means you can wake up the next morning feeling quite literally as fresh as a daisy. Presuming daisies are all fresh, not all of them are, but imagine the freshest daisy you could possibly imagine. Got it? You'll feel like that. Now, you're probably thinking to yourselves, Freeman, that sounds brilliant, but how does it work? Well, I shall show you. You take the top off like that, fairly easy. I don't know if you've ever taken a top off before. I don't want to brag, but I can take tops off bottles in a very short amount of time. And that's it, you're all set. You then go out and have a lovely night out with your friends, drinking responsibly, and you will feel awesome in the morning. So if you want to get your hands on some of this stuff, the easiest way to do it, I'm going to put a link in the section below, and you're going to be able to use they've entrusted me with my own voucher code, which is nonsense, of course. So if you go click on the link in the section below, use the code nonsense and you'll get 15% discount on your first order. Right, enough science for one episode, back to the gin. Mermaid Zest gin at 40% ABV infuses grapefruit, island bergamot, and wild foraged coastal rosemary. Oh my God, do you know what? I actually refuse to eat rosemary unless it's been foraged on the coast. With the smooth yet complex taste of our award-winning Mermaid gin. A blend of bright citrus and subtle sweetness combined for a zesty, fresh spirit with a hint of sea air. And that's all it says, to be honest. It doesn't go into great detail here, but I'm assuming it is your classic Mermaid gin, which has had a little bit of lemoniness, I always struggle with that word, lemoniness kind of injected into it and pumped up somehow. Much like in the previous video where we reviewed, it's over there out of shot over there, the Zesty Lemon Beefeater. However, my friends, I may be assuming incorrectly. It has happened before and you can be damn sure it will happen again. So let's crack the old fellow open and find out, shall we? So let's break open this. It doesn't look like that much of a difficult one. Doesn't look like it's going to cause too many problems today. However, having said that, it is putting a bit of resistance. No, I've got it. There we go. Take that bit off as well. And we are rewarded with a Cork Test, my friends. So what would this one be? It's made in the Isle of Wight, this one, which is a small island off the south of England. So let's call it the Isle of Wight Cork Test.
The Isle of Wight Cork Test.
So do we have a squeak? Oh my God, good Lord above. Did you hear that? Oh, it's like a whining dog, if you enjoy listening to whining dogs. And it just so happens that I do, so I enjoy that very, very much. That's very good. Go for the full pull. Oh, not bad. Not a very deep, resonant pull. More of a sort of a falsetto pull, I would say, but a good pull nonetheless. But of course, it doesn't really matter anyway, because we all know it's just a bit of fun. So then, let's get the old fella in the glass. It's an excellent sort of pourer, this one. It's that sort of, you see that top, that shape of the bottle there. I describe it as a flange. It always sounds unpleasant, that word, but I believe that's what it's called, and that's what I'm sticking by. So put the flange over there, out the way. So let's have a bit of it's slightly sort of, I'm not sure if you can see that. I haven't got anything white to hold up behind it. I usually have a piece of paper or something I could show you behind it. I've got a box here in which we had some steak delivered. This doesn't happen on other YouTube channels, does it? Have a look there, look. There we go. Can you see? I don't know if that helps. Ignore the cow, don't look at the cow. Look, it's slightly yellowy. In fact, like, to be honest, I'm not sure why I felt it was so important to show you that, but it was a very elaborate way of doing it. Anyway, it's a bit yellowy. So let's smell, shall we? Let's give it a sniff, nostril going in. Holy shit, apologies for my language there, it seems a bit over the top, doesn't it, just for sniffing some gin, but that smells very different to the previous Mermaid. I just thought it was going to be zesty, kind of more of a lemony version. However, what I'm getting there, it did say grapefruit, didn't it? Hang on a second, let me check. Yeah, ABV infuses grapefruit, island bergamot. Now bergamot, I'm pretty sure is kind of lemony, isn't it? But that is massively, overwhelmingly, and unexpectedly grapefruit, which is interesting because I'm not a huge fan of grapefruit. Oh dear, I just put my hand in the drip which has come down from the roof here, and pretty sure if I put that in my mouth then I will be extraordinarily ill. So I'll just go and wipe that on something. Hang on. Sorry about that. Right, what were we saying? Yeah, the grapefruit, I'm not really a fan of it, but it's okay when it's used. It's actually very good when used in very tiny, careful doses, like old Steve the bartender's gin, threefold gin up there. That's got a tiny lacing of grapefruit through it, and it works very, very well and bounces with the other flavours. So let's crack on and drink some. So we're running low on tonic here, but it doesn't matter. Long as we think we've got enough for this one. Oh, there's quite a lot in there actually. I'm going to do about that much, I reckon. So what ABV? Oh, I said ABV, didn't it? 40% ABV. Let's just check on the bottle, because sometimes they say one thing on the bottle and one thing on the website. Yes, it is 40% ABV. Thank you to all, as I always say at this point in the show, thank you to all my wonderful patrons and my members who are literally paying for the gin. They pay for this gin right here. They are paying and keeping the show alive. You know who you are. Thank you very much. This is Mermaid Zest gin. I say to you all, cheers. Now then, that is a unique experience for me, because usually I'm either one way or the other, or I'm pretty straight away, I know what I think. However, this one's a bit of a mystery to me. I'm not quite sure how I feel. Let me go in for a second confirmation slurp, because sometimes you need a confirmation slurp just to, well, confirm. So here we go. Hang on a second. Wow. Do you know what? I wasn't quite sure, because it took me by surprise. I thought it was just going to be, like I say, like the Mermaid gin, the original Mermaid gin, with a tiny bit of lemon in, because that would have been the lazy way of going about this, wouldn't it? Just whacking a bit of lemon in there, like a lot of other gins have done. However, it's, as I say, the grapefruit is definitely to the fore in terms of the citrus flavours, but because you don't usually think of grapefruit when you talk about citrus. Obviously it is a citrus fruit, but you don't usually, it's not the first thing that pops into my mind when someone says citrus. It's usually orange or lemons, isn't it? But I tell you what, they've used it a little bit slightly more slightly more heavily than I perhaps had imagined and hoped for, but it actually works very well. It's got a gorgeous sweetness to it, but which is kind of offset perfectly. It's kind of heavy sweetness, but offset with heavy bitterness from the grapefruit. And you've got, it's kind of tinged with it. The lemon is kind of more of a background taste, I would say. You've got some kind of right at the front, at the foreground. Imagine if it was a play, right at the front, downstage, you've got, that's where your grapefruits are. And then just behind them, sort of centre stage, you've got, that's where something crackling beneath my foot there, I'm not sure what that is. So you've got the lemons in the middle, and then behind, the sort of upstage back here, all the chorus at the back, is that classic kind of, the classic mermaid taste, with that slight sort of salinity, sort of a whiff of sea air. And what a clever way of keeping your original recipe, but making it something not just slightly tweaked, but genuinely unique. And as I say, I'm not a huge fan of the use of grapefruit. It always sort of fills me with dread when I see a glass of gin come my way and a waiter's bringing it and they put a great big chunk of grapefruit in there. I don't think it really works. And I've had other grapefruit gin before. I think it was a Whitley Neal one. It was awful, way too much grapefruit, and it was just too bitter on its own. But my word, That is a very intelligently put together gin using extremely unique, not extremely unique, but botanicals you don't see particularly often. So then, let's give her a go neat, shall we? Now, I'm not sure this is going to work particularly well personally, but we'll give it a go anyway. Pour it over the flange there like that. There we go. So, neat, here we go. Oh, lots of grapefruit. Oh yeah, we already smelled it neat, didn't we? I don't know what I'm doing. Here we go. Knock it. Oh God, I got. Oh, wow. I was just gonna say I got a good mouthful of it, but wow. I tell you what, I'm not, as you know on the show, I am not a big fan of drinking neat gin, but that is absolutely what I'm going for another go. Wow, you've still got that kind of sweetness to it, but there's a certain sort of, it's a slightly thicker sweetness, but again, offset with that bitterness of the grapefruit. It's slightly, grapefruit kind of comes slightly less, it's slightly a little bit further back, and I'd say you get more of a kind of the licorice notes coming through, which I'm not sure if there's licorice in there, but most gins have a licorice root in there, and that comes to the fore, and totally different experience. And I tell you what, that is one I could, over ice, I reckon I could probably enjoy that neat, and that, as my regular viewers know, is quite an achievement. However, guys, how much is this little fella going to cost you? Well, I would say it's a mainstream gin now, so I like to play up to £30. So this is a little bit expensive, okay? It's pushed it to the top echelons of what I like to pay for the lesser known gins. It's just sort of falling below that threshold at £39 English pounds and 90 pence, which is, I haven't worked it out yet, hang on a second, £40 in dollars? $46, which is about the same in euros. So yeah, that is a bit of an expensive gin. I don't really like to pay that much. However, my friends, as we've witnessed and heard today, that is quite an exceptional gin. So if ever you're going to push the envelope out, I'd say it's probably worth doing it for this one. So guys, to sum up, what a journey it's been on all three of Mermaid's products. The first one blew me away with its kind of uniqueness and the freshness and that kind of sea air and the gorgeous bottle as well. Absolutely amazing. I didn't think they could top it. Then they brought out, oh God. Then they followed it with the strawberry one, which had loads of depth of flavour, gave it a real kind of three-dimensional pink strawberry gin, and me and Narissa polished it up in no time at all. This one I just thought was a bit of a token gesture. It's totally not. If you were thinking the same, absolutely, it's a standalone, absolutely wonderful gin with complexity, the likes of which I've rarely witnessed on the show. And I have tried a lot of gins. So I would say if you're ever looking, if you're a big fan of the original Mermaid, and hey, who wouldn't be? And this is available, I believe, around the world now. Well, the original Mermaid was anyway. So this, if it's not available in your area yet, it won't be long, because I tell you what, as soon as you see it, and it doesn't look dissimilar from the original bottle. The original bottle has a slightly more bluish hue to it. So keep an eye out. This is the pure green version. I'm telling you now, if you like the original Mermaid gin, you are going to love this. So as soon as you see it, get it immediately. And I say to my friends in the Isle of Wight, in fact, me and Narissa are going on holiday there in next week, in fact, so I might say it to their face, keep up the good work. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video today. I don't know if you can hear, it's just started to rain and patter on the roof of my studio/garage here, so it seems like a good time to finish. If you've enjoyed this video today, as always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Press the like button on the video, and if you want to support the show, head over to the Patreon page, or you can press the join button below this video. But until next time, guys, you all know the drill. Thank you to all my patrons and my members, and of course, keep drinking the gin. What's that hand doing? Ooh.